Hi, I'm Lorelai. Welcome to my first YouTube video. Thank you so much for clicking and joining me in drawing my OC. Her name is Tessa, or Tess for short, whichever you prefer. Right now I'm just doing a quick little doodle, figuring out what I want the vibe of the piece to be. I ended up choosing her sleeping on her desk instead of in her hand because I felt like it was more serene and peaceful, which is what I was aiming for with this drawing. Right now I'm on my second sketch. I do at least 2 sketches just to make sure I have everything in place for when I do my line art, because when I do line art I like to completely zone out. I like to not think about it. So that's why I do multiple sketches. This first expression that I'm testing out is like, oh, I'm waking up, but gracefully. But I didn't think it looked quite right. I thought it looked like she was cheating at a game of Heads Up 7-Up. If you don't know what that is, that's where you put your head on the table and then you have your thumb up and then people walk around the room and put your thumb down. Then you have to guess who put your thumb down. And if you're wondering how do you cheat at that, you just look at their shoes. It's not that. Yeah. I can't believe the only one who cheated at the game. Anyway, I'm drawing my OC. Also, digital art tip, biggest digital art tip I can give, flip your canvas. Flip your canvas. Flip your canvas. Also save a bunch. Yeah, both of those are really important. Anyway, I'm doing my line art right now. If you don't have super steady hands, you can throw on the smoothing feature. That's what I do because I want to make sure everything is nice and smooth, because I don't have the steadiest of hands, but this makes it so that it makes no difference. For this drawing, I'm using Photoshop. I only recently started using Photoshop, so there's a few features that I'm really excited about that I'll tell you about as I'm using them. But yeah, I like it. Do I think it's worth all the hype? Probably not, but I do really like it. Oh, and for drawing, I'm using a l.e.j.n.art tablet. It's one of those screenless ones because they're cheaper and I really like how they work. And the background music is all me. I just played some random stuff on the piano. I think it turned out pretty okay. Anywho, let's see, what am I drawing now? Oh, right here. This part was kind of difficult. I couldn't quite figure out how to attach her neck to her back, but I think I eventually got it. It just took a few tries. Also, if there's anything you ever want me to specifically talk about in a voiceover, please do let me know. As this is my first video, I'm not quite positive what to talk about in a voiceover. I'm basically just talking about my process in this one. If you want to know anything else, please do let me know, either in the comments or like you can DM me, whatever. Oh, that also goes for background music. That too. If you don't like this, please do let me know and I'll figure something else out. Ooh, coloring. So for this coloring, I was going to do that thing where you make it all grayscale. Oh, look, Tessa with long hair. Anyway, for this coloring, I was going to do that thing where you make it all grayscale and then you put on a multiply layer. However, I remembered how stressful that was for me and I decided that that day was not a good day to do that. So I just started adding in some flat colors. Also, if your line art is all connected, a much easier way to add in flat colors is just to use the magic wand and expand, because then you don't have to do all of this. Also, using multiple layers is nice. I don't know why I put all the flats on one layer, but you know, it ended up working out okay, so all's well that ends well, I guess. Okay, so this is one of those features that I was going to tell you about earlier. So in Photoshop, you can go to select and you can select a certain color. And I think that's amazing, especially when you have your flat colors. Then you can just expand it, and then you can just color those colors. Like, you can just add shading to that portion. When I found that, I was like amazed. It made my life quite a bit easier, considering I did do all the flat colors on one layer. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. Here I'm writing some notes because I wanted this to be like a she's in school kind of feel. So, you know, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, some mitosis stuff, and then on the other paper I think I wrote stuff about the quadratic formula and the Pythagorean theorem. Yeah, I did. There it is. Okay. Also, if any of this math is wrong, please don't tell me. Thank you. Anyway, so right here I realized that all the text was backwards. So if you're gonna do that, please flip it both vertically and horizontally instead of just vertically, and then it should look normal. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I didn't end up redoing it because I was fine with how it looked. But yeah, just FYI, that would be better. Here I'm trying to do something that I've seen quite a few other artists do, where they select where they want their blush or their shadow or their highlight to be, and then they blend it out so it has a nice end line. I don't think I had quite the right idea for the execution of it. If you have any tips on how to do that, please do let me know. But yeah, so that ended up not working out, and so I just did my normal blush, which is some on the cheek/eye, and then I blur it. Then I put a little bit under the eyes, and then I put some on the nose and the ears and all the joints like the elbows and knuckles. Oh, and lips. That's not a joint, but I do put some blush on the lips instead of lipstick. So I've started adding in some shadows, and for shading I just use a multiply layer and a dull brown because I like the muted look. Yeah, I use that on everything, but for the hair I do something slightly different than I do with everything else. I put shadow at the top of the hair and the bottom of the hair, and then I blur it, and then I just do the cell shading like everything else. Oh, and then for highlights on the hair, because I also do those, I do little strokes of white on overlay, and then I lower the opacity on that layer, and then I add on another layer and just do a thick stroke, across where the most light would be hitting the hair, and then I blur that, and yeah, that's how I do my hair. So right here, I started coloring in my line art. I just think this makes the piece look a bit softer, and that's the vibe I was going for with this one, was a nice, soft, dreamy look, so that's why I colored in the line art. I only did the skin and the hair because I hadn't shaded everything else, and the way I pick my colors for my line art is I just take the darkest shadow, and then I make it a little bit darker. Then I make sure it's pushed a little bit grayer as well, less saturated, so that the whole piece stays muted. Also, one of my favorite things to do in a drawing is add a little bit of shine to the nose. I just think it makes it look even cuter. And then here I was trying to find a texture for the table. I ended up just finding a brush that was textured enough that I liked it. Sorry, my ice just dropped from my refrigerator. And then the chair. That chair was really difficult earlier. I don't remember if I talked about that in this voiceover, but yeah. Let's see. I think next I'm gonna start doing, let's see. Oh, and then next I do the background. For backgrounds, I would like to highly recommend that you sketch them in prior to starting all the rest of your drawing, because that would make it a lot easier. You'll see in a little bit, I try to put like shelves on a wall right next to her. I just didn't think it looked quite right, and I don't think I put that corner of the wall in the right place. In the end, I think it looks okay, but please, I highly recommend sketching in your backgrounds before you draw. Yeah. So I decided to add a window, but then I realized I didn't want any light coming from that side because I wanted the light coming from above on the other side. So I end up blocking out those windows, like there's shutters in front of them. I actually don't know how shutters work, so that might be completely wrong. But yeah, see, I just blacked them out. And then here I'm just adding a multiply layer, so it's like a filter. And then I erase some parts, and then I blur it, so it's like a soft lighting. And then I'll add another layer, but it'll be an overlay layer of just white right there. And then these ones aren't like super clean because I know I'm just gonna blur it. See, I blurred it. And then this is my favorite light to add. It's another overlay layer, and it's just in one corner, and then you blur it. And I think that's what really pulled together the drawing. And then I just throw in some sparkles. I always thought those were sparkles when I saw other people do them. But then I realized I think they're dust. But for me, they're just sparkles. They're just little sparkles that I throw in. And yeah, don't think of them as dust. Oh, there's the finished drawing. Thank you so much for joining and for watching my video. Goodbye.